The SNP offer to Scotland, 7th of May 2026. Elect an SNP government that wants the best for Scotland and choose an independent future for our nation. A vote for the SNP is a vote for a referendum on independence based on the 2011 precedent. An SNP majority at this election is a mandate for the transfer of powers to the Scottish Parliament to enable an independence referendum to be held. The SNP has done much for Scotland. The Manifesto 2026 contains reminders of what has been done and looks forward to those things which could be done with independence. I ask these prospective SNP MSPs to pick from that which has been done and that which is to be done, their favourite.
For me, it's always got to be free prescriptions, mainly because it has such an effect in people's lives. The fact that, I always wanted to be I prefer being in a country where people can actually afford their medicine and afford their messages. So, anybody that's having to make that decision between what they eat and getting their medication, that's a bad place for me. So free prescriptions will always win it for me.
So my favourite is the school bag. I think on the back of baby boxes, which are absolutely fantastic, I think a school bag for the Waynes that are going to primary school is a great idea.
They're all great, really important for us to take all the steps necessary to make people's lives better, but there is that particular step that gives us the potential to allow Scotland to be everything that our country can be. So obviously independence for me is a biggie. And it's important that the SNP is a party that is always on Scotland's side. We are looking after people in all the communities in Scotland. It's something that really matters, that we are focusing on how we can make people's lives better now. And we are the party of independence, so we can absolutely see the potential for that better future as well.
I would say I like the price cap on essential goods. I think that's pretty good. Given what's happening in Iran now and what Trump's doing in the world, I think that's good stability for folk when they need it,
Thanks, Anna.
Breakfast clubs in schools, absolutely vital in a constituency like mine that has a lot of deprivation, a lot of mixed communities. And breakfast clubs remove any stigma and offer that to every child in the school, and it will make cohesion so much easier and help those most in need.
I think for me, as a mum, the extended childcare is absolutely crucial to making sure that women can fully participate in the economy and get back to work and upskill and just, get more involved. If that had been in when I had my child, it would have been life-changing for me. And I can see the difference, and getting kids into that kind of childcare setting to allow the parents to be able to go and maybe do extra hours at work, whether that's volunteering opportunities, whether that's caring responsibilities for family members, it's absolutely crucial.
With the pick, it's more childcare support, it's youth culture, it's rail fares. Which one do you?
I think more childcare support would be the one that I'll pick, because I think that's what's necessary to get the economy going again. People be able to get back out to work, helping support families, helping make sure that they can reach their full potential. Good for children as well to be able to get that support when they're young and start them off well in life. So that would be the one I would pick. I think that's the one most important.
What's your favourite of all the things on the round the walls here? The independence, the people. What's your favourite?
Independence. Independence, always. You know that.
Which is your favourite of all these things we've got hanging about?
Definitely welfare's frozen.
Welfare?
Yes.
Can't decide.
Tenants' right to first refusal.
Say again?
Tenants' right to first refusal.
I'm in the SNP list. I've got to pick independence, haven't I? Right? But I would also call out lower energy bills, because everywhere I go, people are talking about the cost of living. And it's a travesty that in an energy-rich country, we pay the level we do for our energy. It's ridiculous. And the two go together.
Which one would you pick?
Independence.
So Martin, which one are you going to pick?
Well, there's a lot of positive stuff to choose from, but I think core to it all is a fresh start for independence with me, and it's about how we can deliver just a better standard of life for everybody here in this country.
Price cap on essential goods.
Cost of living support, stronger NHS, stronger economy, more GP walk-in clinics, shorter waiting times, more appointments, more operations, more diagnostics in the community, national expansion of childcare, a £2 cap on bus fares nationwide, price cap on essential food, £10,000 to help people buy their first home, tackle online harm, ScotWind Wealth Fund, Pothole Fund, Mansion Tax, Private Jet Tax, School Breakfast Clubs, 24/7 thrombectomy services, extended bowel screening, palliative care expansion, vape display ban, support for business startups, support for business scale-ups, human rights defended, social impact bonds, apprenticeships, football fan bank, increased international investment, reduced bureaucracy, expanded firefighter role, public sector reform, land reform, rural renewal legislation, support for islands, welcome to school bag, a phone ban in classrooms, increased additional support needs, teacher and NHS job guarantee, expanded network of Scotland House consulates, clean power, rejoin the EU with independence, just transition, expanded native woodland, road equivalent tariff protected, issue government bonds, increase in funding for culture, artist minimum income, screen investment, traditional music national performing company.
We're here today to talk about Scotland's future. Every time I go out on the road, I'm struck by how much we have going for us as a country. So many strengths, so much innovation. We are truly blessed to call Scotland home. In the 2 years since becoming First Minister, I've dedicated every single day to improving the lives of the people of Scotland. When I took office, I promised I would deliver for Scotland. Falling waiting times, more operations, GP walking clinics, frozen rail fares, peak rail fares abolished, child poverty down, and winter fuel payments restored. Friends, I keep my promise. That is my record. It's a record I'm proud to take to the people of Scotland. But make no mistake about it, I am only just getting started. At the outset of my comments today, I want to be clear that a vote for the SNP on the 7th of May is a vote to put Scotland's future in Scotland's hands. For a referendum on independence, where Scotland can make our enormous wealth work for our people. A referendum where bringing down people's energy bills will be on the ballot. A referendum that will allow Scotland to reclaim our place at the heart of Europe, and a referendum that I intend to win. Today I'm delighted to publish the SNP's election manifesto. It's called On Scotland's Side, because that is who we are and how we act. The SNP is Scotland's national party. Rural, urban, north, south, east, west, island, mainland. This is a manifesto for every part of Scotland. While others in this election seek to divide communities, to target minorities and talk our country down, this is a manifesto that brings people together and unashamedly talks Scotland up. A manifesto for all of Scotland. That's what you get if you vote SNP on the 7th of May. A government on Scotland's side and a First Minister that will always put Scotland first. Friends, I know that times are tough out there. Food prices have shot up, household bills are soaring, and filling the tank now empties your pocket. In energy-rich Scotland, people can't afford to heat their homes. In a country with more renewable power than we use, our bills are soaring. And in a country where oil and gas has sent £350 billion to Westminster, a Labour government tried to rob our pensioners of their heating allowance. Friends, the problem is not that we don't have the energy. The problem is that Westminster has the power. This election is our opportunity to take those powers and put them into Scotland's hands. Lower bills, more jobs, a greener future. That's what you get when you vote SNP. The cost of living is the defining issue of this election, and it defines the SNP's plans for Scotland. But friends, this cost of living crisis and Westminster's complete failure to get a grip on it demands that we do everything we can. In recent weeks, we've been setting out some of the bold and ambitious measures a re-elected SNP government will introduce. For people trying to buy their first home, we'll help you onto the property ladder with £10,000 towards your deposit. For private renters, the right of first refusal to buy your home if it goes on sale. For parents, we'll intensify Scotland's childcare revolution, extending support over the next Parliament to every child in the country, from 9 months old to the end of primary school all year round. And we'll build on the success of the baby box with a new welcome to school bag. Friends, concessionary travel has been one of the great success stories of the SNP's time in office, and we're going to protect the existing schemes that we have in place. But in this cost of living crisis, as we face a climate emergency, it's time to go further and be bolder. People need to be able to afford to get to their work, to go out and to see friends, to get out and about. The cost of travelling from Hamilton, for example, to get here today by bus would cost more than £7. From Paisley, it would cost £6. From Dumbarton, it would cost £9.30. These costs are too high. So I can announce today that if re-elected, an SNP government will cap bus fares at £2 in every part of Scotland. Cheaper travel and more money in your pocket. That's what you get with a government on Scotland's side. That's what you get by voting SNP on the 7th of May. Friends, the cost of living is hammering people, no more so than when they get to the supermarket till. Inflation has come down, but prices have not. People are quite simply struggling to afford food. In a rich country like Scotland, that is a proper moral outrage. For some, the cost of food is so high, it is hitting their health and well-being. Now, with the current powers of our Parliament, I cannot normally set prices at the till. But things have got so tough, it is now impacting on our nation's nutrition. That is a public health issue, and I have public health powers. So I can announce today that if re-elected, your SNP government will use our public health powers to set a maximum price for essential food items, reducing the price of the weekly shop, putting more money in people's pockets. Bread, milk, cheese, eggs, rice, chicken, everyday items that make up a decent diet, necessities that no one should ever have beyond their means. That's what you get with a government on Scotland's side. The National Health Service is our most important public service. We have a plan to make our NHS fit for the future with 3 parts: investment, protection and renewal. Investment that will see every penny of NHS resource consequentials going to health and care. Investment that will deliver a real terms increase in health and care spending. Protection of the NHS principles of comprehensive, universal and free at the point of need. And mark my words, never, ever selling patient data to dodgy billionaires and the palanters of this world. And renewal. That means changing how the NHS works, refocusing resources on keeping people out of hospital, shifting the balance of care. It means, for instance, giving people heart and lung MOTs in community settings across Scotland. And of course, action to end the ATM rush for GP appointments as we continue to roll out GP walk-in clinics. Friends, we have a duty to properly fund our National Health Service and all our public services, and we do. Delivering on that duty starts by growing the economy. Growth pays for the services we need and builds the Scotland we all want. So I make this pledge to you today. My government, your SNP government, will put growing our economy, getting people into work and building our national prosperity at its very heart. We're not just competing within the UK for investment. With the SNP, Scotland competes internationally for investment. We know that international events, inflation and the drag of being part of the UK is likely to hit the economy, so we must respond by hitting the accelerator. If we're re-elected, we will create a major projects office to cut through bureaucracy and speed up investment in nationally significant projects that will get decisions taken quickly and make sure Scotland grabs the critical investment opportunities out there. To make Scotland the best place in Europe to start and scale up a business, we will establish a high growth unit to identify fast growth businesses and give them the wraparound support they need to succeed. And to help every business grow the length and breadth of the country, we will reform the planning system, speeding up decision making. Friends, Scotland has massive opportunities in industries like energy and tech, world-class colleges and universities, and a highly skilled workforce. I want to use every single lever available to the Scottish Government to boost economic growth, support innovation and attract investment. So this is our offer to the people of Scotland. Growth at the heart of government, action on the climate, determination to eradicate child poverty, a cost of living package unrivalled anywhere in the UK, new help for first-time buyers, a massive expansion in childcare, a nationwide £2 bus fare cap, fair food prices, shorter waiting times, more appointments and operations, and walk-in GP clinics on high streets across Scotland open 7 days a week. A re-elected SNP government will deliver 150,000 apprenticeships, a teacher jobs guarantee, and mobile phones banned in the classroom. Investment to improve our roads and fix potholes, a 25% increase in our international development funding, more support for start-ups and scale-up businesses, a £75 million housing fund for our rural and island communities, a vape display ban, a private jet tax, a mansion tax, and the proceeds of Scotland invested in Scotland's very own wealth fund. Friends, this is the policy prospectus that the SNP offers the people of Scotland. But I offer more than that. My entire adult life has been spent in the service of this country. I have given that calling my everything. Today, I offer to do more, to serve more, to use all I have learned in leadership to secure the best future for Scotland. These are troubling and uncertain times. The world is riven by conflict. More than 20 years ago, I marched in this city against Labour's illegal war in Iraq. I marched for international law and for the principles of peace and democracy. 20 years later, I stand by those principles. I stand against despots and dictators. I stand against nuclear weapons that have no place on our shores and make us all less safe. I stand for international justice and for Scotland raising her voice for those who do not have one. At this moment, Scotland needs experienced, principled, reliable leadership in the highest office in the land. That is what I offer this country. In this election, I'm asking people to give me the mandate to act always with and for the people who live here. When I became First Minister, I promised to serve all the people of Scotland. I reaffirm that promise today and commit to creating the best future I can for our country with the powers we have right now, stretching them, as I've demonstrated today, to their very limit, but working to build the very best for Scotland with the powers of independence. And that is why my call at this election is for us all to unite. Unite to secure the powers we need. Unite to make Scotland's voice heard. Unite to win a referendum on independence. We won a majority in 2011 and we can do it again. On May the 7th, use your first vote for for an SNP government that will deliver more cost of living support, a stronger NHS and a stronger economy. But it is by trusting us also with your second vote that the SNP can win a majority that will secure a referendum that we will win. On the 7th of May, vote SNP for a government on Scotland's side. Vote SNP for the trusted, experienced leadership that I offer as First Minister. Vote SNP for bold action on the cost of living and on our health service. Vote SNP for hope over despair, and vote SNP to give Scotland a fresh start with independence. Thank you very much.